Hello everybody and welcome back to Mac User, and in this video I'm just going to go through my findings on macOS Golden Gate, the beta version. So let's get into it, shall we? It's been about 1 month since I downloaded macOS Golden Gate beta version. So I had the development opportunity straight after the Worldwide Developers Conference, but there is now obviously the open source beta version for the end user. Anyway, let's get into it. So there's been a number of Mac users who have shared their experiences on it. So the question everybody's really going to ask is, so is Golden Gate ready for daily use? Or are there still problems you should know about? So let's dive in, shall we? So the first one I'm going to look at then is the performance improvements. It certainly has a faster boot time on Apple Silicon Macs. The memory management seems to be an awful lot better, and the app launch has been improved. That was a little bit ropey at the very beginning. I'm still encountering issues with Finder. I think that certainly does need to be tweaked a little bit more. Next one I'm going to move on to then is the battery life. So on my MacBook Pro, it's actually been very good. The battery life on the machine has worked seamlessly. Don't seem to have any problems with it whatsoever. I haven't extensively tested the battery life and working remote without plugging in on the power. However, if it's like macOS 26, then it's got the intelligent system built into it for intelligent charging, which is quite a nice feature. Apple Intelligence, so again, I still think this is in the beta phase really. I think Apple are behind the times with everything else that's in AI. The summary option within your email system is very good, and Apple Mail seems to be very clear in its intelligence of how it organises your mailbox. It also highlights certain things that are in your previous mailboxes that you haven't actioned, so it links that to your calendar, which I think is that's actually quite a nice little feature. There seems to be some issues with regional support. So number 4 then is the bugs. What bugs are still happening? So Finder still does freeze from time to time. There is this issue with spotlighting on its indexing. I'm not really sure why that has to be an issue. I'm sure they could fix that with one line of code, but there we go. External monitors do tendency to stop working. You have to unplug and then plug them back in. And I've encountered this an awful lot, is that Bluetooth connectivity seems to drop in and out for no reason whatsoever. USB-C accessories don't seem to reconnect after the machine goes to sleep. And the menu bar does seem to have some issues and crashes from time to time. I haven't really tested the widgets. There are a few that are on my desktop thing, mainly the calendar and the calculator. I don't seem to have any issues with that, but there has been lots of reports that the widgets do tendency to disappear. The one bugbear that I've had from day one is Safari. Safari seems to be quite ropey. The internet seems to drop out on signal. You go back into the web, turn off your wireless, turn it back on again, and nothing works. And my only fix as of this video going live is doing a reboot. Once I seem to do a reboot on the machine, it all comes back working. Now, all fairness, I'm only testing this on the Apple AirPort Extreme, so the last version that was released. So my wireless technology is only AC, so it's quite old in comparison to the later technologies. However, none of my other Macs have any of this issue. It just seems to be this one machine that has the beta version of Golden Gate on it, and then every now and then the internet just stops working on Safari. I'd like to say that to work around that, like whenever I have issues with Safari, I go to the Safari technical preview, which I have got a video and I'll put in the link below. However, you can't download the Safari technical preview while you're in the beta version because there isn't a version for it, and you can't drag and drop the app from 26 into 27 because it doesn't work, because I've tried it. So that is a bit of a pain. I have moved to Firefox and that seems to behave itself to a level. However, the way my Apple ID is set up and all the keychains and stuff like that, I prefer to use Safari than any other of the web browsers. So that is a bit of a bugbear for me. I'm not sure why that is an issue with the beta version of Golden Gate. So compatibility then, I've managed to sort out Microsoft 365. That seems to have now sorted itself out as well. So there is a patch update from Microsoft. That was a little bit of a question mark. The Adobe Creative Cloud Suite recognises the version that you're on, but I would, again, if you're using Creative Cloud and intensively using that, you really do not want a beta version of macOS to work off, because Creative Cloud cleverly likes to work off the operating system that it is supported. And as going to live with this video, Creative Cloud is not one of those apps that's supported for the beta version. Even though it does work, it's not obviously one of those that Adobe are going to jump up and down and fix any bugs that you have in Photoshop or in design that aren't working if you're working off the beta version. In short, if you're using Creative Cloud, I would not recommend that you use the beta version of macOS Golden Gate. This goes for the same for Final Cut Pro. It seems to be a little bit glitchy with that, and Logic Pro has the same problem. Firefox, no problems whatsoever. I don't use Chrome, so haven't actually tested it as a web browser. So the only two that I ever use is Safari or Firefox, or the Safari Preview, which I've already mentioned that we can't actually install on this beta version. Obviously there are other apps out there that are going to have issues, and everything that's got an Intel based app is going to have a meltdown, so it's going to prompt you that it's not going to work. So I use Rust Desktop, but it is an Intel version app, and that it does not like the beta version whatsoever, so I have to use macOS 26 if I want to use that particular application. And there are obviously several apps that you've got out there that you will have to obviously swap over. So external hardware, and this can be printers, USB hubs, docking stations, NAS drives, Thunderbolt displays, and even external SSDs that you use for your backups and stuff like that. I haven't had any problems with this whatsoever, apart from the monitors disappearing and then you have to replug them back in for some reason. NAS drives, I've had absolutely no issues whatsoever, so I have a Synology NAS, and I've been remoting into that and moving files and data across without any problems since day one, so I haven't had a problem with its connectivity, and I'm only connecting wirelessly, I'm not connecting through a cable network as well. So the security protections are a little bit more enhanced, certainly if you use any terminal commands. It really doesn't like me to use a sudo command. You have to accept it and then ignore the message where it says this may be a piece of malware that you're trying to install. So just bear with that bit. I think that's just going to be part of the security protocols when this is actually released to the public. Hidden features people may miss. So there has been a work on Finder improvements. Again, as mentioned before, working with my NAS, I haven't actually had too many issues with that whatsoever. So utilising the screenshots still works just as well as it does on 26, so I don't encounter any problems with that. There are some nice added extras with the clipboard enhancements, and it does seem to have better stage management. There are also reports of new terminal features for developers, but I don't use terminal that much, so it's something that I will obviously encounter as I require a terminal command for certain features. I did have a giggle of trying to install some of the AI applications that you can use through Pinocchio, and all I can say is it just didn't work, though I could get it to work on 26, and I've got an Intel MacBook Air that works with Pinocchio, and it's got the sound clone piece of software, open source software on it, and it works fine, but I could not get this to work on the beta version of Golden Gate. So for those of you that are going to be heavily smashing out terminal commands, I would hold off until the official release, should you upgrade. In short, no, I would stick to 26. 26 is very, very good. I don't have any issues with my other Mac that has 26 on it. So why would you run a beta version and then encounter all the little blips and issues? Certainly the internet dropping bit is a real bugbearer, and the fact that nothing seems to work and you have to reboot the machine. macOS does not like to have the operating system sitting there in standby mode for a long period of time, so it likes you to either sleep or shut down the machine or do a reboot frequently. If you're like me, you're logged in for a period of time, so anything from up to 4 to 6 days. As I mentioned in my original video on how to get the beta version, if you've got a spare machine like I fortunately have, I've used that as my beta version to install the software. If you haven't got that, I would stick to 26. There's a few other things you need to consider. So the Intel software won't work on 27. So that is going to be a bit of a bugbear for an awful lot of people. So you have to go through your system to check the software that you've got that's on a Silicon machine that's Intel based only. So it'll prompt you when you try and open that app to download the Silicon version if they've released it. So if the third party has not released it, then I'm afraid putting 27 on your machine is not a good idea. And this goes for old drivers for printers and scanners as well. You might find that some of those things just do not work. In short, unless you're using this as a test bench so that you can obviously put your information and feed it back up the chain to Apple, I can't really see a reason why you would want to install the beta version certainly on your main machine. Overall, macOS Golden Gate is in a much better shape after 1 month than it was when it was launched. Most of the bugs have been addressed. There are still some rough edges depending on your Mac, and certain software applications you might find that you've got issues with it. You can let me know in the comments how your beta version of Golden Gate is performing. If this video has been helpful for you, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for weekly Mac tips and news and troubleshooting guides, which we're going to be using when Golden Gate is released to the public. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you found that one of use for you. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.